On today's episode,
I'm the CEO of you.
My name is Stefani. I help you unlock the next level to your self-development by beating procrastination, creating better habits, and transforming your mindset for success. Motivation is multifactorial, which means literally that's how I got out of my situation. One of my big whys is to never... How many people do you know that have services and they really struggle with pricing? So when you wake up in the morning, you don't have a mission. You don't have clarity and direction of what it is that you're doing. Why would your brain want to get up? So how can you rely on consistency, want consistency, but rely on a multifactorial aspect, you know? What you need is to build habits. I came here when I was 8, but my parents have it was a really difficult journey to, my dad came here and first of all, he came here and he was illegal. He got caught by the immigration. My why stems from, I don't want it to just be for nothing.
Yeah.
You know, everything that they went through, everything that they did, all the struggles that they did. I really want my mom and my dad to look at me and say, you know what? It was a good choice.
Welcome to the CEO of you. CEO being the highest ranking position you could be in a company. We believe that you are the CEO of yourself and you have full responsibility of how you react to situations in your life.
always remember, life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. Be the boss, be the CEO. Repeat after us. I will be successful.
I deserve an abundance of wealth.
I take action.
Steph, at what point in your life did you realize you want to become an accountability coach?
So it was after I tackled my anxiety, and I realized that there's a lot of people out there that are probably experiencing what I went through as an entrepreneur, studying as well, going through life. And I thought to myself, I've never really heard of an accountability. Like you hear business coaches, fitness coaches, but not really accountability. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I thought, what a good thing to start to keep others accountable and just, I learned a lot of skills along my journey, and I wanted to really implement this into my clients.
Okay. So when you say you started with you started with a journey, so what is it that entails becoming accountable? Because I'm guessing you've had to have gone through something such as maybe anxiety to get to where you want to be. So what is it exactly that makes you accountable for the person you are today?
So it's literally when I was going through anxiety, I realized that the reason why I'm the way I am is because of the things that I've been doing to myself, the way I've been speaking to myself, my habits, my routines, basically becoming conscious that it was my fault, which was a very hard pill to swallow. But, life caught up to me and it forced me to make that realization. So then I realized, okay, I need to take accountability for my thoughts, my actions, where I am in life right now. And that's how I started with the whole accountability for me. So for me, accountability is about having a growth mindset. I've always had a growth mindset, but it's like how to think and what to think and when as well, which is really important.
So would you say, the person you were a year ago, did you have different habits to what you have currently?
Completely. Yeah. So me 1 year ago, a lot of procrastination, on my phone, 24/7.
That was like me to be fair.
That's everybody.
24/7, but not even realizing that I was on my phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you sometimes just pick it up for no reason?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
realize
because
that?
it's a habit.
Yeah.
It's a habit, and you're also trying to get that dopamine rush. You're trying to, because, what people don't realize is that procrastination is actually a symptom of fear and anxiety.
Oh.
So when you have fear of success, for example, or just anxiety in general, you then, it leads to procrastination.
Yeah.
So you're not procrastinating because you're lazy or lacking motivation. It's literally because of those limiting beliefs that you have not been tackling. Because if you really notice what you are thinking when you're procrastinating, you will realize it comes a lot from a place of limiting self-beliefs in yourself. You're in a dialogue, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so you spoke about procrastination and what it does, but how is one way to avoid procrastination? Because like you said, you just think of something and before you know it, time's gone by. So how would you reduce procrastination?
So it's it's something that you have to practice. It doesn't just happen.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, it's not one word and it's like, oh yeah, cool, that's it, procrastination gone.
Yeah.
It's, you know, with anything in life, it doesn't take one day. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah,
The same
yeah.
way
Rome wasn't built in one day.
we as CEO of ourselves, entrepreneurs, whatever, young professionals, you know, we have to make the effort to build consistent habits. So it's about, you know, being conscious of what you are doing, because most of the time when we're procrastinating, we don't see the time pass. We just see it's 9 o'clock and
Next
I have
thing you
not
know.
done
You
what I
know.
need to do.
So, you know, it's 10 o'clock.
It's 10 o'clock. I have not done what I need to do. So it's literally about being conscious of what you're doing. So what I do with my clients is we keep a procrastination log
Yeah.
where anytime you're procrastinating, you're going to write it down,
Oh.
what you are doing and how you are feeling, which then when we come together on our weekly calls, we're like, okay, why were you procrastinating? And what were you doing when you were procrastinating? And what were you thinking? And then we come to a consensus of, okay, these are the limiting beliefs keeping you there. Either it's fear of success or anxiety. There's all sorts.
Yeah, speaking on procrastination, I feel like I had one good week of a good routine. I'd wake up at 6, 7 and try to go to the gym. But after the week, I kind of found myself just laying in bed on my phone. And that was constant. And I was just like, why am I doing this? To the point where I just thought to myself, why am I doing this? Oh, I don't really know. And then I just skipped the gym still.
But you said you're asking yourself, oh, why?
Yeah.
So if you think about how the brain works, right? It like recognizes patterns and all the things that it does. When you're asking yourself why, you're basically limiting your brain to one answer, which is, oh, because you're stupid. Oh, because you're lazy. You're limiting your brain to that answer. But you have to just think outside of the box. Instead of asking yourself, why am I doing this? Ask, how can I get out of it? How can I do better? How can I ensure that I do not do this again or go on my phone? Now your brain's going to be like, okay, now I need to find an answer. Because I think what we have inside the brain is called I think it's the reticular activating system, which basically recognizes like it wants to find answers for things. I believe that's what it is. So yeah, when you ask yourself a how instead of a why.
Do you reckon that's also like, you said your brain only thinks of one answer and that's usually a negative answer. Do you reckon that's as a result of the habits that you've built up over time?
Yes and no. It's a mixture between your instincts. So I think it's called the reptilian brain. It's a mixture of that and the habits that you've built, like your deep programming. Because think about it
So
this
where
way.
does that stem from? Where does that stem from?
Okay.
Go on.
So your brain,
Yeah.
if we're talking about like cave times, it wants to save energy. It wants to preserve calories. So it doesn't want to do difficult things because it wants you to survive. But it's very unproductive, right? It's really unproductive the way that we work. So, you know, by asking yourself, just using your brain in the right way, where it's like being aware that you have instincts, but okay, I need to get this done. So let me work with my brain, because your brain is a great follower, but you have to be a great master. All the brain is doing is just trying to survive. So when you're procrastinating, trying to avoid anxiety, it's trying to avoid pain. Okay. And if you think about procrastination, it's the avoidance of pain. When you are on your phone, it's because you don't want to do this task or you don't want to think of this.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, because like even for me, example, university work, the minute you start, you're like, let me just go and check on my phone.
Exactly.
And then next minute, you know, so much time's gone. Because you really want to do the university work.
Yeah, it's
all right.
Yeah.
Who wants to do that?
Who wants to do the university work?
And it's the same with the gym for me. Like, instead of getting up, I'll go on my phone. And there's no reason to be on my phone.
Nah.
Do you have any, like, I don't know how early you wake up. How early do you wake up?
So, like, well, right now it's been a little bit. But usually I try to wake up around 9, 10 on a good day. Sometimes at 12 on a bad day. It depends what time I go to sleep.
Do you have any, like, techniques to help you get out of bed? Like, when everyone wakes up, it's like, oh, I'm awake. I could use an extra 10 turns to an hour. Do you avoid that, or do you just kind of...
So, with sleeping, that's actually an interesting conversation, because if you think about it, right? Like, we wake up in the morning and all we want to do is just be cozy in bed, right?
Yeah, always.
What
And
helps?
my bed is so comfy.
Literally, my bed is so comfy. Like when the heavy blankets as well.
Oh,
Don't get up, you know. But yeah, so you have to have a strong why. You know, you have to always be connected emotionally to what it is that you're doing with your day. That's why it's really good to plan the day before. You have to plan the day before. Journaling the night before is so important because what happens is your brain actually processes everything that you've taken in, like literally before you went to sleep, and it processes it in your brain for 4 hours. So whatever you went to bed thinking, your to-do list and whatnot, it's gonna process that in your sleep. So when you wake up in the morning, you don't have a mission, you don't have clarity and direction of what it is that you're doing. Why would your brain want to get up? Your brain's like, oh, we're not doing anything. I just want to sit here and I just want to. I just want to rest. You know.
It's true, man.
That is true. Because especially like on the Sundays when you got nothing planned or you ain't doing nothing, you just want to think, all right, I'm in bed all day, I'm chilling all day. Right, much to do.
It's true, still. It's true.
But you know when you said like what helps?
Yeah.
So obviously having a strong why and that clarity and direction is one. The other is just alarms. Like, where do you put your alarms?
It's just on my phone.
Your phone's right next to your
My phone
bed.
is either next to me or falls off my bed when I'm awake. Yeah.
But it's like, what helps is having an alarm that is separate from your phone. So having an alarm, you have to get up to go to and go switch it off. Because when you move,
just to
that's
get out of that.
Exactly. There's this good app. It's called Alarmy, and it literally makes you do squats.
Squats.
Yeah.
First thing in the morning.
No, you can choose. You can do squats. You can do press ups. You can take a picture of something.
That's interesting. Though. That's interesting.
And that would wake me up as well.
Yeah, like
if I had to do like 20 press ups, I'd be like, oh, I ain't getting back.
And
in bed. I'm definitely going to the gym now.
I think that's how a lot of things like what you just said. When you know you have something to do in the morning, you always just wake up and want to get straight to it straight away. So I think that alarm, I might have to invest in that alarm.
What's it called? Alarm?
It's an app on your phone. It's called Alarmy. Another thing that helps as well is just creating deadlines for yourself, like discipline yourself.
Yeah.
So for example, what I do is I make sure that when I'm doing clients, I'm telling them like I start at 9 a.m. so they can pick 9 a.m. That forces me to wake up early because now I have to, I've got
get
clients
ready.
at 9.
So
if you really struggle, just do things like that for yourself. Or if you want to be extreme, you can like go on Twitter, set something up for like if you don't wake up at a certain time, send out a broadcast that
that's smart. That is smart actually. I get what you're saying.
I'm not awake, guys. Like literally have to like self-discipline.
All right, so self-discipline. So another thing you talk about is self-development. One of your key topics you speak about on Instagram is how important self-development is, and you specifically state on your Instagram, self-development can help you unlock the next level of yourself. Can you just give us an insight on how important self-development is and how it actually gets you to that next level? So
self-development, there are what I call like the 4 pillars of human self-development or the potential, which is obviously your financial, your educational, your physical, your emotional, and your spiritual. So these 4 things, you have to create habits around them to really cater to them.
Yeah.
And that is how you reach the highest level of your self-development. But truly, what I believe is that to unlock the next level of your self-development is through tackling limiting beliefs.
Such as?
So there are limiting beliefs that we have which we're not aware of. It usually stems from like deep programming from childhood, usually from your parents' values and beliefs. But we don't really sit down and question, where do these values come from? Where do these beliefs come from? Why do you do what you do? Why do you believe what you believe? So unlocking that next step is being able to recognize those things that have been limiting you pretty much in your adult life. Maybe it's the way that our parents have lived, that we now lived in the same way. But I guess a limiting belief would be confidence or lacking confidence. Some people, a common one is that they don't believe that they are good communicators. They don't believe that they are like good at maths, for example. Some people like really struggle.
Common.
Do you know what I mean? These are all stem from limiting beliefs because you then do things that really like not enable you to
Yeah.
exceed. And that's because your beliefs about yourself are keeping you stuck.
So everything stemmed down from what you go through at life, obviously
Yep.
parents, yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
that happens in your childhood shapes you into the person that you are now.
Wow.
I
And-
think. Oh, sorry, Karen.
No, I was just gonna say, if you don't do the introspection, the journaling,
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
if
yeah.
you don't do the work, you're gonna live life not being in the driver's seat. You're gonna be
Yeah.
in the passenger, just going through life.
Coasting as it's going through.
coasting,
Yeah, you have to tackle, where do my values and my beliefs come from?
Okay.
I know that that's taking accountability just exactly on what you was just saying. Exactly on what you was just saying.
So
Mhm.
I was gonna say something just to clarify to make sure I understand, because I heard from somewhere else that a limiting belief could be like in adulthood, if you start your own business, you're scared of charging a high price for your work, and that stems from when you were growing up, maybe you didn't grow up in the richest household, and your parents sometimes said, no, we can't afford that. So you kind of just got to the point where it's like, oh, yeah, we can't afford that. So you assume other people can't afford it as well. So you try and make your services affordable instead of,
You.
and you undercharge
Yeah.
and so on.
That is literally a greatest example of a self-limiting belief, because how many people do you know that have services and they really struggle with pricing their worth?
Quite a lot.
But
To be
it's-
fair, I went through that as well. Yeah.
Exactly.
Same with the editing reels, how much you want to charge. and
But
that.
it's like you're pricing your worth is how much you believe you're worth.
Yeah.
You know, it's like on an energetic level. How much am I worth? You know?
Yeah.
And it, like you said, it stems from those limiting beliefs. If you grew up in a poor household, if there was loads of like values about money that were negative and beliefs about money that were negative, you're gonna grow up in your adult life
you're
and
gonna
Yeah,
think money's
yeah.
not.
money's not
Like, money's not around, but
Money
really,
around.
money is everywhere.
You know what they say, like, oh, money doesn't grow on trees. I swear that shit's made out of paper.
You know what? I've never actually thought about it.
It's made out of paper,
It's made out
and they're
of paper.
printing it.
What are you talking about?
Every second they're printing it, man.
Like, but that's the thing. It's like, but we all kind of, well, not all of us, but the majority of us have that belief. When have you ever sat down and said to yourself, where does that, like, who told me that? Where does that value come from? Do I even believe this myself? Why do I believe this? You know, and that's where the next level of your self-development comes. Asking the right questions.
So do you think people need that exposure to the next level where like to see if there's someone to say them or show them the light? As you said, that paradigm shift.
Yep.
So you say that's what people need to realize to get to the next level and actually
Yeah.
understand the way I think. They just need that shift.
You need a paradigm shift because, okay, to be able to reach the highest level of your confidence, you need to be able to have, well, not confidence, sorry, self-development.
Self-development,
You
yeah.
need confidence. How are you going to be confident in something that you don't believe in? You know, you have to create a belief system for it, and you have to go out there and obviously change your paradigm, see that it's possible, and not only see it but feel it too. I feel like it's really important to have role models. You know, that's one thing that really helped in my journey, being able to you know, see somebody that's done what you've done and go, okay, it's possible.
This is exactly what we were saying, how especially on this podcast journey, when we said we'd go and take the risk, take the step, putting the podcast out everywhere and see it, it's inspired a lot of other people to be like, rah, if that man can do it, we
I
can do it.
as
Yeah,
well.
we can do it. So I think what you just said is very head on the nail.
Who would you say your role models were or still are?
So one of my biggest role models, I don't know if you guys know her because she's American. Her name is Lavish Ruby. So she was a serial entrepreneur. She was a biomedical student as well. And that's how I found her, because I was looking at her vlogs. She used to vlog her journey. She had 7 businesses and she was doing uni.
Oh,
And then,
Uni.
yeah, and uni too. And she started this trading service, right? Which I actually joined. And it's funny because when I joined, it was like $200 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she scaled it and she became a multi-millionaire from that signal service. She doesn't do it anymore
okay.
because something happened. But she just, honestly, I thought to myself, if she can do it,
Like
21 at uni.
Oh, she was 21 as well.
She was 21 at the time. She was, I think this was like in 2020 or something like that. That's when I
Yeah,
started
yeah,
my
yeah,
like
yeah.
trading journey,
Yeah.
crypto. And
We'll speak about
We're
that.
gonna briefly touch on that. We're gonna.
All right, so you
He
mentioned.
said, he laughs in pain.
Yeah.
All right, so the crypto journey and trading and investing. How has that worked out? Has that been one of your successes or one of your failures?
So you could say it was a failure, but
Yeah.
I
Or a
don't
lesson.
see yes,
Yes.
exactly. I see failures as lessons. So I fail forward, and that's what I truly believe that I did with trading. Because what trading helped me do is it unlocked that paradigm shift that I told you about.
Yeah.
I saw other people being able to do it, and I built a belief system around it of, okay, if they can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah.
Just being able to see that it is possible, it's not a scam. Because lots of people think, oh yeah, trading is a scam.
Yeah.
It
To
can
be fair,
be.
I did as well.
Exactly.
For real?
Everyone.
Yeah.
You thought that shit was a scam?
Yeah. But
'Cause
why
of
would you not?
Pyramid schemes and all that
you
stuff.
literally go on Instagram and then you got these forex guys saying join my thing, and then you
Message
find
on
out
the Instagram
they're really
all the
making
time.
most of their money from you joining and paying. Then you recruit people and they get affiliate link paid.
Right.
Yeah.
Pyramid.
Yeah.
So anyway, continue what you were
Yeah.
saying. Sorry.
No, so
Keep
no, it's
interrupting.
listen, it's a pyramid scheme. It even got you in the pyramid right now. Pyramid of thought. He was like, it goes here and then it goes there.
it literally does. It literally
But
does.
yeah, so it unlocked that paradigm shift for me where it's like, I want more. And it's crazy because I was never confident before. I was super, like, my confidence was on zero, guys. Anxiety, like, I had a lot of limiting self-beliefs, but I was trying, because I knew that there must be something there.
So
Like
how did
if-
you what was your next step to breaking that anxiety barrier to get
Oh.
the anxiety barrier to get you where you want to be?
So it's actually, the whole trading thing happened before the anxiety
Yeah.
breakthrough. I always had anxiety. It was always there. Those, like I told you, those limiting
Yeah,
beliefs
that was
that
like-
were
yeah,
for me as well.
exactly,
But
Yeah.
that's in everyone though.
exactly. But I was just brushing it under the carpet for years. The breakthrough was when I started suffering with generalized anxiety and panic
Okay.
attacks. Life came at me and I had to deal with it.
Did you have a
You
panic
know.
attack?
Yeah, so I used to, for about 6 months
Yeah.
straight, like every single day,
Ooh.
I would have anxiety. It was like debilitating. It was
Yeah.
crippling. I lost 10 kg in 4 months because I couldn't eat. Yeah. I feared everything. I built this fear of everything,
Yeah.
and food was one of them. I believe I built this belief system of, oh, if I eat, I'm gonna die. Like the pesticides, like
No.
it's
Yeah.
So did that all start within you?
Yeah, it was built up years and years of anxiety and limiting beliefs and things that I was brushing under the carpet. You
So
know,
how did you break past that? How did you push?
habits and routines saved my life.
Please tell us the importance of habits and routines.
Genuinely.
You've always said habits get you to that person who you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
As an accountability coach, I could imagine habits is something major. What does habits mean to you?
Oh, to me, it's emotionally driven because it honestly saved my life, because I had a point where it was like now or never. If I don't build routines, if I don't build habits, I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm gonna, because I was losing weight by the day. Like, I
Yeah.
wish I had pictures to show you guys. I was a skeleton. Like, I had family members telling me, like, you're, like, what's going on? Like, you're dying.
You know.
Literally, like, it was terrible. But I just couldn't bring myself to eat. And yeah, like, habits and routines. I said to myself, okay, it was actually, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It was a what was it? It was a video that I saw. My boyfriend was actually playing it,
Yeah.
and it was I think it was called the Stranger's Secret. I think that's what it's called. It's something on YouTube,
Okay.
Yeah.
like a voiceover, and he was saying that if you want to get out of where you are right now, like if you're in a bad state or whatnot, you need to build habits. And then he was saying that you do it for 30 days. And then if you fail one day, you have to do it again.
Another 30 days.
Another, like,
You
you
have to
start.
restart.
Yeah,
Exactly. Like, if you're 29 days in and you miss it, you have to
You have
start
to
again.
restart, yeah.
After you complete the 30 days, you then jump into 60. So I started doing that. I started meditating every single day, waking up at the same time, sleeping at the same time every day, journaling every single day, and just writing down my thoughts. I did it because I really wanted to get better. I did it for 30 days. After I unlocked it, I said, cool, let's get it to 60. Literally, that's how I got out of my situation. Habits and routines every single day, and a strong will to want to get better.
So, I think that's crazy. So, like, all of these things have led up to the person you ultimately are today, sitting in front of us to be able to share your story. So, thank you very much for that one.
It's okay.
So we spoke a lot about accountability and how it brings you to the next level. For anyone who wants to, let's say, boost their energy levels, so I know a lot of people start off in a moody, groggy state, whereas they have a lot of low energy because they haven't built up the habits. So what energy givers would you tell someone to use to start maybe building their life to that next level, step by step?
So the energy builders that I love are journaling, going for walks, because that's what helped me yes, that's another habit that I built. So me and my boyfriend, when I was going through my anxiety, we started going for walks every day. Just walk for ages.
Like
walk
on the street, walk through
like
a park.
just anywhere.
This is what I was saying to you, like walking.
Just walk.
It's therapy, bro. In a way, it's therapy.
I did walk in for about a week again. It felt great. I don't know why I stopped. I have like a routine for a week and then I'll change.
It's because you're operating from a place of motivation, which is very weak. So motivation is multifactorial, which means it relies on a lot of things for it to happen. The people around you, the weather, how you feel, how you wake up, what side you wake up. You see what I mean? So how can you rely on consistency, but rely on a multifactorial aspect, So what you need is to build habits. Yeah, it's not going to be easy. You're not going to really enjoy the journey sometimes, but it's,
But I feel like it was one of those ones where, okay, I operated off motivation, but because it made me feel good, shouldn't that also just make me consistent? Shouldn't that just make me carry on in itself? That's what I think when I think back on it. But at the time, I just thought,
But what was your why behind walking? Why were you walking?
Why was I walking? Originally, it was just to just take pictures, natural scenery, fresh air.
I think that wasn't enough. That's why. Fair. Like, you need a stronger why. It needs to be emotionally attached. You need to, okay, I'm going for a walk because, make it something that matters to you. Deep inside your health, or something that you really truly care about. Otherwise, if you say, oh yeah, I just want to go for a walk because everyone else does it, your brain's going to be like, that is a very big waste of my energy. I'm not doing that. Just remember that every single day you are basically kind of working against your brain and against its instincts and against its needs. So remember, you need to become a master of yourself.
So Steph, you talked on your anxiety a little bit, and you said how you basically experienced it from a young age. To anyone suffering from anxiety and depression, what advice would you give them to escape that? Because that is something a lot of people suffer with and they don't know the first step to escaping. So what would you recommend to somebody like that?
So build habits and routines that you are performing every single day. And that, for me, it included meditation and journaling and going for walks. That saved my life. But yeah, like we were talking about before, start from day 0. And then if on day 29 you miss your habit, you start again until you've done it for 30 days. And after you've done for 30 days, you do it for 60. And after you do it for 60, you do it for 90. And after, I believe it's 90 days, it takes for a habit to really build and stick inside 90 days.
Atomic Habits.
I've read in Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits,
I read that there as well.
No, Atomic Habits said 66 days, huh?
Did it? 66?
You read it?
I feel like I remember 66. That's such a...
Oh, no, that's another one. I had a journal. Oh, yes, I had like a journal as well that I used, and it had you can do your prompts and stuff like that.
That's hard. Do you do vision boards?
I do, but not in real life. I do want to start doing it in real life, but I do it on Pinterest.
Oh, yeah.
So I have it on my phone, and it literally the widgets
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about
mean
now.
I
Yeah,
know what you mean.
Literally. So I've got widgets on my home screen, and they replay like things that I put there from Pinterest every single day. And my home screen as well has like pictures of things.
I feel like I should do that as well.
I was thinking.
I
100%.
had it for a bit, but then I just kind of changed it to like a default kind of wallpaper.
You should you should do it, because I think, like, for example, you should have like an affirmation there, because remember, your subconscious is picking up things every time. You know, whatever you're picking up. So you can actually use it to your advantage by putting things around you that will make you remember. So like notes. So that's another thing as well I did. The habits, the routines, the journaling, the meditation, the walks, and sticky notes. I had sticky notes everywhere in my room
on your room
with affirmations.
You know what? I've started.
That sounds amazing.
I've literally bought sticky notes not long ago, and I feel like writing on them every single time and just sticking them on the wall. Just writing down my thoughts or whatever. But then I think, people are just gonna come into my room and think this guy's crazy.
Nah, you just
this guy's crazy.
You just gotta do it for yourself.
It's gotta be done. It's gotta be done.
So how important would you say meditating is? Because personally, I've tried meditation. It's good, but it's not something that I've made a habit. Not something I've stuck to.
Like what Ajne was saying, just about meditation. There's a lot of content out there. So when people want to get into meditation, it's a bit overwhelming because you don't know when to start. Whereas there's so many different forms of meditation. So like a lot of people think meditation is just a simple sitting on the ground. You get what I'm saying?
It's a classic one as well.
Where like I didn't know there was actually different types of meditation. Whereas, so for me, what would you recommend to anybody out here who wants to get into meditation? Where to start?
So with meditation, if you want to start, I would recommend guided. It's always good to do a guided meditation.
What's that?
So if you go on YouTube, or there is an app that I recommend, it's called Calm.
You know what? I've
you have
got
to pay
that.
for it.
You've got to pay for it. That's why I didn't use it. But
is that the one that talks to you? Yeah,
it's got a lot of guided meditation over there. Now I've switched from guided meditation to just silent meditation. But I feel you need to build that habit of just meditating, right? And the guidance is really nice. There is actually one on Calm, which is actually the one I used to help me with my anxiety.
Yeah.
It was called 30 Days of Meditation or something like that. And it's literally this guy teaching you how to meditate. Yeah. He tells you what meditation is. He goes through the exercises with you and you do it. And I did it for 30 days. That helped me massively. But yeah, for anyone that wants to start, guided meditations first. And then you can jump in and do the silent one. Because
is that what you do now?
That is what I do now.
So how did you get to that?
So with the silent meditation, it's difficult because we don't really understand, or maybe it's not really said out there. What is meditation? We all think, like you said, you're just sitting down.
Yeah.
And there's this misconception that it's like, stop thinking. No, you can't stop thinking.
Yeah, glad you said that, because like I said, when I tried it first time, I was thinking there's so many thoughts in your head at the same time.
But
it's how do I create the silence?
There is you can't create silence. You don't create silence. You just acknowledge. You acknowledge your thoughts and you don't judge them. Yeah. So you're able to create that clarity in your head and just process thoughts as well. So for example, if you sit down in silence and a thought comes to your head, it literally means that you haven't processed that thought. That's why it's coming to you.
Is that what that means? Yeah. When like, let's say you were thinking of something and you can't quite understand it, it's simply because you just haven't been able to process that thought when it appears from nowhere. Because
things happen to us every day, at every second of the day. It happens to us. Yeah. And we say things to other people, that people say things to us that we don't really have that, undivided time to really sit down and think, okay, like, what happened there? How did I feel?
Yeah. Or why did I perhaps say this?
Why did I, where does it come from? Why was I angry? Why was I sad? Why was I happy?
Yeah.
So when you're doing your meditation and you have these thoughts coming to you, you just have to observe them and say, okay, cool, like, wow. It's basically like a conversation with yourself.
Yeah.
People think you're sitting there trying to stop thinking. No.
Is that what you were doing?
I mean, like when I tried to meditate my first time, I had just locked it off. I had a rain music in the background, innit?
Oh, did you?
Try to set a bit of an atmosphere. I sat there in peace and I just thought, rah, I'm in a good place, I'm in peaceful. Let me try and meditate. But there were so many things on my mind at the time. It was kind of like, how do I create this silence to bring a peaceful mind? And then he was just like, after 5 minutes, I thought, yeah, bond this, bro. This ain't.
I'm not doing that no more.
This ain't working.
What I did when I first started meditating, it was silent. I was just sitting on my floor, my legs were crossed.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was there trying to make my brain silent. So what I did was I processed all my thoughts until I had nothing left to process. Found out I was there for like 15 minutes and I was like, damn.
It worked.
Like, I still didn't get my brain to silent,
Of
like to
course, yeah.
silence my brain, but I was there like, damn. I opened my eyes and I was just like, whoa.
That was good.
I was somewhere else. Like, I wasn't here, bro.
But this is the thing, though. Every session that you have when you're meditating is different. People also have this other misconception that, oh, meditation is this one thing that you do and every time is going to be perfect. No, sometimes you're going to be so distracted. There's going to be so many thoughts or so many worries that you cannot process that it's going to be overwhelming. But you just have to do it. You have to build the habit. I think one thing that I really recommend you try to do is to build that focus muscle through meditation. And that's what I work on with my clients.
Yeah.
So you see with like confidence that we were talking about,
Yeah.
procrastination, self-development, whatever. Focus is the like, what's it called? The thing that stitches everything together, the thread. Like genuinely focus, that's what it is. So you can practice that through meditation, where it's every time a thought comes, you acknowledge it and then you bring yourself back to the breath or the movement of your chest, like whatever your, like they call it the home base.
Is that something you work on as well? Because I know another form of meditation is working on your breath work and
Yeah.
how to understanding actually how to breathe. Because I think I read something like an article where they were saying almost 60% of people or 70% actually don't know how to control their breathing and the importance of breath work. So is that another form of meditation, something you would recommend?
Yeah, breath work, 100%, definitely. Because when you're breathing, you're letting that oxygen into your brain, right?
Yeah.
And apparently we breathe wrong as well. We breathe from like from the chest or
I was
something
meant to
like
breathe
that.
I was meant to breathe from the stomach.
You're apparently
mad
you're
like that.
supposed
Is
to
that,
breathe.
are you?
Yeah, right. You meant to breathe from the stomach. I don't quote me.
I'm trying to
Don't
think
quote
how
me,
do
but
No,
I
that's-
it's
breathe?
right. I'm pretty sure that is right.
That's
You
all- that's
breathe
what I heard,
from your stomach, not from your chest. And apparently that is how, like, oxygen. I guess you're obviously. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Not my
Don't
area
quote us,
of
don't quote us.
expertise. But breath work, yeah, 100%.
All right, that was very helpful. So I just want to touch on another topic, which we had mentioned. Anxiety is something I've suffered from in my past, something from my past, as in taking that next step. And so, how is anxiety and breaking that barrier? How would you recommend for anybody to get to that next level through breaking that barrier themselves? And what step would you take?
So, if I was beginning from scratch and I was giving myself advice again, I would say, write, literally write and read. So, journal and read books, inform yourself, and also try to, it's okay to have a period of hibernation where you're literally switching off from the outside world. No social media, no music. Sometimes you really need that like information fasting, because that is what I did. I wasn't only doing the habits for 30 days, but I was also doing a very intense information fast. And I think that is really what pushed me to that next level. So you can then start to work on new beliefs and your new identity without distraction from the outside world.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that I would recommend, to be able to break through that. So be comfortable with being uncomfortable and be comfortable with silence. Because most people don't want to meditate, or they don't like meditating because they're uncomfortable with silence.
I know a few people like that as well.
Yeah, I've always said like as well, agreeing with what I said, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And like as I said, escaping the comfort zone is the best thing for you, because that's where you really actually develop. And yeah, that was what I say. But another thing as well, peace. Everybody wants a peace of mind, and not a lot of people know how to create peace from internal factors such as overthinking themselves or maybe things, and external factors such as people around them may interrupt their peace and life things that they've got going on. Where would you recommend to start with peace in creating in yourself?
To create peace, personally, I think is by looking within. So, yeah, we want peace, but remember that there needs to be chaos first. So after the rain, so no rain, no flowers. Yeah. So you need the rain, you need the thunder, and then you bloom. So you need to look within yourself. You need to look within the chaos inside
Yeah.
What are your belief systems like we were talking about? What thoughts do you have? What are like the habitual thoughts that you have? And then going from there, how can I now fix this? And then create create that habit. And that's how I reached peace. And also gratitude is super important.
Facts. Always say gratitude every single
So
day.
I think gratitude is the fix-all. You know, we go about our lives not being grateful. We have so much to be grateful for. And I think like gratitude is the probably like the best sort of form of prayer that you can have.
I'm gassed because how much times we
Yeah,
speak about
this-
gratitude all
He's
the time.
always telling me.
Saying, even like first thing in the morning, it's just thank you. Like, I'm
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
I'm alive. And I feel like that just stems straight away, the happiest of energy. Because I'm here, I'm living in the moment. There's so much to accomplish, so much to achieve, and just being thankful for everything, even like the smallest of things. Just being able to like go to a fridge, have food, being able to have someone to speak to. Gratitude's the best
Yeah,
thing.
it's very important.
Literally. Now imagine what you can do by, you know, making gratitude a habit in your life every single day. Like the same way you brush your teeth, the same way you shower. Imagine making it a habit. You know, every day you are grateful. Your outlook on life just changes because you go from like a fixed mindset to a growth mindset because you always know, you know what? Yeah, today was bad, but I have this to be grateful for. This happened. Because what happens, especially as entrepreneurs,
Go on.
we,
I'm listening.
he said,
I'm listening.
tell me more. As entrepreneurs, we're successful, great, but are you happy within? Have you found peace? You know? And I think that you find that by building the habit of gratitude.
Yeah.
Because, you know, even when your business isn't doing the great or when you've achieved what it is that you need to achieve, what now? You know? You have
That's
to be
amazing.
you have to be grateful for the journey, not just the end goal. Because I find personally when I'm feeling like trash, like there are days when everyone has their bad days. I'm like, oh, why do I feel this way? What's wrong? Like I was in such a row. It's because I haven't been journaling or it's because I haven't been doing gratitude. And as soon as I sit down and I'm like, okay, yes, it's going really bad right now, but
Don't worry.
Yeah.
what's been going good? Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, and then you
Yeah.
kind of break out from that bad cycle because it's like, oh, damn, there's a lot to be grateful for. I've
Yeah, it's true.
achieved, you know, just, yeah.
It's like I heard from somewhere. I've spent so much time on social media. I can't even remember where I've heard this from, but it's like your brain always thinks of negative thoughts. So to counter that, always think of 3 things that you're grateful for that relate to that point, and you can always think of at least 3 things that are better than the negative. So it kind of just counteracts your brain as well.
Always.
Yeah.
I say sticking with 10 things that you're grateful for is probably the best because it's a little bit like it pushes you out of your comfort zone to really think
deeper.
like,
Yeah.
okay, no, like, yeah, okay, food, shelter. But then it kind of gets a little bit boring. It's like,
You get a bit more deeper. And
Yeah.
see, what
You
am I
gotta go in
really
depth.
grateful for?
Yeah.
Grateful for, yeah.
you know, like the achievements, even like things that happen to you on the street, for example, like you're walking and someone talks to you and it just makes your day or whatever. Like,
Yeah, even like that positive compliment goes a lot, especially like when someone on
Yeah.
the street says, "Oh, thank you," or having manners for me is something that
Yeah.
goes a long way. When people actually say thank you, like, "Oh, you recognize this," nice.
This
you know what,
action.
you know what, it makes me think I appreciate you more for just saying thank you. Like, it's a weird.
But
thing.
that's the thing. You appreciate other people for saying thank you, but we need to appreciate, like, say thank you for like ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, because we appreciate those like manners to other people, but okay, like let me live for me, like have self-love
Yeah.
for me, do it for me, gratitude for me. You know, because we go on about our lives focusing on other people and how we can make them happy, but what about us?
Yeah.
You know,
I was always told that we treat ourselves harsher than we treat other people. So we'd say things to ourselves that we like I wouldn't say to you.
never
or
say
to
to
you.
anybody else.
So we should treat ourselves like you would treat like you wasn't you basically, and just treat yourself like you're someone else. That way you'll be much nicer. And that's yeah.
One advice I have for that is don't treat yourself like you're somebody else. Treat yourself like you are your inner child, like you're the child version of you. You know, whenever you're speaking to yourself, be like, okay, how can I speak to, or you can even be like speaking to your brain. You know, that's what I do. And what I tell my clients is literally have a conversation with your brain. Because it's like, guys, we think that we are just one thing. Your brain is just completely separate, and then there's you. You know, you have to come and work together because your brain's doing what it needs to do. You breathe. It's just everything just unconsciously happening to you. You know,
Brain is
keeping you
so
alive.
powerful.
Oh, so freaking powerful, genuinely. But it's just like, you know, when you catch yourself speaking in a certain way to yourself, be like, okay, let's change that.
yeah.
Brain or child or whatever.
So just like we spoke about a bit on mindsets. So how would you change to from like as Jenny was saying, he's had negative, obviously negative thoughts, and obviously negative thoughts leading to negative actions, which then creates a negative mindset because it's come so normal, and like you said, it's almost a habit to think bad about yourself. So what would you recommend to someone who's trying to change their mindset to bring a more positive mindset? How would you first go about doing so?
So first of all, you have to acknowledge your limiting beliefs, like we were talking about earlier. You have to acknowledge basically what cognitive commands are you telling yourself every day. So how you perceive the world around you, how you perceive yourself, and how you perceive others. You have to catch yourself in the moment. Some people struggle with that. They struggle with like catching their thoughts, like the commands that they're telling themselves. So I say go by feeling. How do you feel at that moment? And then you will know what you are basically saying to yourself. And usually these are like, oh, I'm so stupid. We say these things to ourselves a lot. Your brain is going to believe them. So it's literally just acknowledging it. Maybe go like, do like 1 week of just writing down on paper thoughts that you've been having, where like the limiting thoughts that you've been having, and then change them to a positive cognitive command, which usually should starts from I am and I want, and asking yourself those how questions as well. Like I said, how can I get better? How can instead of why, because then you're telling your brain it's gonna just give you an answer instead of a solution. So why?
That's a real gem.
Exactly.
I think that's really, really gonna help.
Literally, a why is just
a lot of things you said all
counterproductive.
stems from a why. So I feel like in every action there needs to be a why, and the why is the power source to what fuels your motivational discipline to keep going. So
100%.
that's crazy.
Like you have to be emotionally connected to your goal. Otherwise, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Your brain's gonna be like, waste of my energy. I'm not doing it.
So yourself, how powerful is your why to keep you striving to get into where you want to be? Because you seem, I wouldn't say motivated, you seem well disciplined, as in your why is so powerful. You're doing the accountability coach, and you're also working in university at the same time. Like, what is your why that's made you so strong and you can get through anything right now? You seem invincible because the why is very proud. So
you know what? That is the biggest compliment I've ever like heard, because if you guys met me 6 months ago, only my boyfriend knows what I went through, you know, and to be sitting here talking about mindset with you guys and anxiety and overcoming that in six months ago, I never imagined in a million years. So one of my big whys, I've got a few, but one of them is to never be in that situation ever again. Never put myself in that way. The other why is because I really want to break some generational curses.
Such as?
So the money mindset, I need to change that. The belief in God and how God was perceived in my family, I want to change that. And also accountability is something big as well that I want to change, because I grew up in a household where I kind of did feel like the reason why we were in certain situations sometimes was that lack of accountability, not caring. Exactly. Just not caring. You know? And also, another of my big whys is my family went through a lot to come to this country. A lot.
So where is it where you're from?
I'm from Brazil.
Brazil?
So I grew up in Brazil. I came here when I was 8. But my parents have like it was a really difficult journey to, you know, my dad came here, and first of all, he came here and he was illegal. So he had like a fake passport and everything. He was working. He got caught by the immigration. Obviously now he's got his Italian passport and whatnot, because obviously he was in the process of doing it. But yeah, that happened, and my why stems from, I don't want it to just be for nothing.
Yeah.
Everything that they went through, everything that they did, all the struggles that they did. I really want my mom and my dad to look at me and say, you know what, it was a good choice.
I feel like I've got a very similar why as well. Like my parents and me, actually. I came to the country when I was like 1 or 2. Literally don't remember. But we came from Jamaica, and I thought, now that I'm grown up, I actually understand like what they went through. And I think to myself, like, wow, all of that just for this. Like I actually can't just sit on my ass and do nothing.
Exactly.
I think that's one of my whys. And another thing is, you mentioned you had multiple whys as well. And I thought to myself, that's actually that's a very good thing.
It's important to have multiple.
Because imagine you just have one why and the situation changes.
Now what?
Now your why is literally gone. What now?
Yeah.
You literally got nothing to back you up.
But that's why it's really important to become a person of substance. You know,
Yeah.
like what is important to you, and don't just associate yourself with one job or one hobby. You have to have things that you like, that you love. Like think about it. We only have one life to live. Like we're not gonna be here forever. What do you want to do that makes you proud? What do you want to do that you want to get out of bed every single day and say to yourself, let's start the day. I think that's just so important. I think not many of us have that, and that's because we have this belief that we're gonna live forever for some reason.
Yeah.
Maybe it's,
I think a lot
It's a
of people
big
spend the time on their ass because they think, oh, I got tomorrow. I got
Yes.
tomorrow. I got the
Tomorrow.
day after.
Babes.
Next week.
Tomorrow
next year.
is not guaranteed. You don't know what's
Exactly.
gonna, like, God forbid, but you don't know what tomorrow is gonna bring.
Exactly.
You have to live today. It's so important, and all of us just live life like we've got like the tomorrow, like you said. No, we need to take it like day by day and just really connect ourselves to that why, like we were talking about. Super important.
What makes you the person who you are today?
Resilience. Literally. I always have been a very resilient person, even from a young age. And it's important to really dig deep. Obviously, meditation links in a lot. What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? And you can use them both to your advantage. Really and truly, you can use them both to your advantage.
How can you use your weaknesses to your advantage?
So, first of all, by knowing, what you're not good at, you can avoid certain situations. So I am not going to do this. I'm going to do this instead.
Because
this-
that's not an interesting.
Good point.
Because, by acknowledging your weaknesses, it makes you more self-aware. Because how many of us actually sit down and say, oh, I'm not good at that? No, we all think we're the shit, that we can get
it's
it
true.
done.
It's like, I can do this. I can do it better than him.
And
Why
that-
would I get him to do that?
Exactly. That leads to us having these extensive expectations, and then we do things that other people are doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We
100%.
we follow other people's paths. But other people have different strengths and weaknesses that are not like yours. And you need to know what your weakness and what your strength is. So then you can be like, okay, what path am I going to exceed in?
Okay, I think
Super important.
that's very
that's
helpful.
amazing,
Yeah,
it is.
especially like for myself. Speaking of weaknesses, like I've already acknowledged my weakness. If you don't know already, as I said, I think gaming is a weakness because it takes up a lot of my time, and so the stuff I want to actually work on, I'd always end up just put it to the side. Let me play a bit of gaming. When in reality, I could have just focused more on the goal. So I think being that self-awareness and giving myself an important reason why, as you just said, well, now help me get to that next level. Do you get what I'm saying? So now if I understand my why and actually take accountability for my actions and what it will do for me in the future, I think that's very important, having that why. And thank you very much for that, Steph.
No worries, guys. Accountability, you heard it. Important.
It really is important. It really is.
Genuinely, like, we have to just be accountable for ourselves, our actions, and realize that, like you said before, you are the CEO of your life. You are the CEO of your life. You make the choices. You make the conscious decisions.
Yeah.
You know. You
Say
have to
say one more time for them. They are
Say
the
it-
what?
say
They are
one
the
more
what?
time.
You are the CEO of your life.
Do you ever feel like, because you're studying biomed and obviously accountability coaching doesn't really link with biomed, do you feel like once you finish uni, it's kind of just a waste? Or how are you viewing it? Are you going to still pursue biomed, or are you just going to full focus on accountability coaching?
So for my 5-year plan, I have it that I am going to be going full time with accountability. Like I really see something in this because the feedback that I've been getting, like my testimonials have been amazing.
I've seen your testimonials.
So like that's how I know, okay, I can take this further and I can impact lives.
Yeah.
On a deeper level. But with uni, I don't think it's a waste because I learned a lot with uni. I learned like, self-discipline and my time management as well. Learning how to revise, reading and things like that. They all kind of started from uni. And also there are a lot of opportunities at uni that we don't speak about. Like if you really seek, they have mentors, they have funding. Like I told one of my teacher or lecturers, whatever he's called, about my business. And he told me, oh, you need to speak to this person. They might be able to provide funding for your business. And I'm like,
really?
oh, wow, I never knew you got, like, they have all these programs. But this is the thing with uni. They only really give it to you if you seek.
Yeah.
But how are you supposed to know it's there if you don't know?
They speak a lot about in uni about meeting them halfway. As in, if you really show what you're about. if you really show what you're about, they'll think, oh, you know what, we got something for you here,
Like, okay, just relying on luck is not enough. They need to make us more aware of these things. And that's what, so I'm doing something similar for, it's not a dissertation, but it's like a project that we have actually really recently.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it on mentoring and basically helping them to just make it more available, just more out there. Like, this is what we offer, and asking the students what they think is missing, because I never knew they did mentoring and stuff in uni. I had no idea.
I didn't know.
Exactly. I think they do.
Yeah, I asked, to be honest. Did you guys ask?
No, I didn't.
No.
But even with the funding of your business, I didn't know.
I didn't know the funding of the business. That's crazy. I never even knew there was even a thing, an accountability coach. Did you actually know?
No.
So accountability coach, that's something I've never heard of. So, and it's from what you've told us and everything on this podcast, and like you said, your testimonials, which you've checked out, accountability coach seems like something everybody needs, and accountability is something everybody should basically realize how important it is in their lives. So you provide a course with your accountability coach. So what do you actually teach these people about accountability on your courses?
So it started off as accountability and life coaching at first.
Yeah.
Until I then niched it down to accountability coaching. But what I do is we work on consistency, we work on habits, we work on beating self-limiting beliefs and procrastination. So that is the main things that we work on, and we work on it together. So I truly believe, I have this quote, it's, besides any successful person, there is, a coach there guiding them. And I believe that is so true. You see it with athletes, business owners, singers. They all have singing like singing coaches and whatnot, So if you really want to be successful, you need you need an accountability partner. You need someone there that you're comfortable with, that you trust, that you can share your vision, you can share your goals. And then as an accountability, what I do is I shine a spotlight on the blind spots that you are missing in your life. So that's what we do with my clients. That's very
helpful, especially for people who want to take their lives to the next step, having someone to support you,
unlocking
your life
the next level of your self-development completely.
That sounds amazing.
That's cold.
Completely.
That's cold.
Like I've got clients that come to me and they say, wow, like this was such an insightful conversation. I never realized this and this and this about myself, or I never realized this and this and this about my routines. This is what was missing this whole time. Like, wow. And they thank me, and it's crazy because all I'm doing is I'm just a spotlight shining.
Okay.
Do you feel like it comes natural to you? Like,
I think so. I think it's okay. You know how we were talking about weaknesses and strengths before? I thought that my weakness was being an empath. The fact that I can feel people's energies and it makes me feel a certain way. Like whatever you're feeling, I will feel too. And I thought that there was a weakness. But then I said, how can I use my weakness to my advantage? We were talking about that before. Being an empath, I can feel what you're feeling and I can really relate to you. I feel like as a coach, that is my biggest strength. The fact that I know where you're coming from. I can connect with you and really prove to you that there is that paradigm shift on the other side, you know, giving you something to believe in and that motivation, because I feel like we all need motivation in our lives.
Yeah.
We all need someone in there that believes in us. And I am that person. I believe in you. And I believe in you because if you knew what I went through to get to where I am right now, you would see that everything you need is inside of you. And that's where the spotlight comes in to shine inside of you so you can unlock whatever it is that you need, which is in here. You just need to unlock it. That's it. You have the power.
Very inspiring.
I'm about to say, that was
Very inspiring.
wow placed.
I'm literally gonna
Wow,
go home today and think.
He's going to think, I need an accountability.
I'm about to say that. I didn't count a minute to go.
But to be
Listen,
fair,
spots opening up next month.
to be fair, she put it on her story, and I was like, should I? Like your testimonials are really tempting. Like normally when people post them, I'm like, yeah, that's a good testimonial. Yeah. But then it was just like bam, 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 another one. And she's like, okay, I'm done for the day. Next day, bam, bam. I'm like, and these look fresh as well.
Trust me, guys, it's definitely life changing. Like what I learned to be able to get out of the mind state of depression and anxiety. That's the thing. Like I think people don't really realize that the strengths that you have in a certain topic or whatever, you can use it towards other things. So it's like the strengths that I use to get out of my anxiety, I'm now using it in my business.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like that's why that self-awareness is so important. Knowing your weaknesses, knowing your strengths. Is this value? What value and beliefs are mine? And what value and beliefs are my parents or the people around me? Am I really operating from a place of choice, like you said?
Steph got a question. You ever thought about writing a book?
You
You ever thought about writing a book?
Wow.
Or like even just selling an ebook on this about a course.
I definitely will. Definitely. That's
because like
I feel like that would be a good part. Yeah.
The book kind of gives me, especially so many stuff you've mentioned, good vibes, good life, in the stuff which he talks about accountability. But obviously, I think you've gone into it, especially in this podcast, in more thorough depth and how it actually unlocks. And obviously, the testimonials, as me and Ajane have said, they're a lot more than just, oh, that was good. They're a lot more in depth and how you've actually changed. Like you've got living proof he would happily explain to people. So I think a book, you never know.
Yeah,
a book,
a
book, you never know.
author? My bio?
Maybe she'll add it into a 5-year plan now.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's already in there.
You never know. Secrets that I keep under my sleeve. No, honestly, I think a book is a perfect way to be able to get your like message across to the world at such a cheap price as well.
Yeah.
And we don't really appreciate books as much as we should.
True.
Guys, anything that I need, I will read it in a book. Like, you can literally go to the library and go, I don't know, habits. Read a book about habits. Now you're a master at it. But that's the thing. We have this problem with a lot of information hoarding, but we don't apply the information.
Yeah.
And that's where my program comes in, where I help my client to not only, taking the knowledge, but let's apply it now, because what next? We all read these books. We listen to podcasts. Why are we not all successful? It's because we're not applying it. We don't know how to apply it, and that's where I come in.
I think what you're doing is great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Simply because I feel like you were saying, a lot of people just need that guidance and that support to think, you know what, here's where it's going bad. This is what we're gonna do. And I think when you say the word "we," it's always better because just to have that someone hold your hand along the way to actually realize, okay, we can do this, and there's someone here to help you. I think that's amazing.
I don't only hold the hand; I push you too.
Yeah.
I'm.
I don't know if they see that on the camera, but she did a little.
Listen, in a nice way. It's all love though, but sometimes we need that push.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We really need that push. Another thing as well that is definitely a life experience. But I went to Mexico and I jumped Mexico. But yeah, I went to Mexico and there was this. Do you guys know what a C note is?
A casino?
A C note.
A C note.
A C note. A C
Yeah.
C dash note.
No, okay. It's like a, how do I explain what a casino? It's like a rock
Okay.
that has been, I don't know what happened to the rock, but it's like an open rock, and then inside there's like a river in there.
Oh,
Oh,
That I don't listen.
okay.
Not the best explanation, but it's,
you got me sitting up for
you
this.
know, there's
one.
like Pinterest type of pictures that you see of people inside this like cave. Like it's like a cave, and then the cave has like a hole on it, and you can kind of like see the sky inside
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
cave.
yeah,
I
yeah,
ca-
yeah.
I kinda
Yes,
know what
yes,
you're
yes,
talking about,
yes, yes.
That's a casino.
Okay.
Pretty sure that is a casino.
I hope so.
But yeah, I went to
Correct us in the comments. So.
so I went to one of those with my boyfriend, and I had to jump this, like I had to jump inside of the thing, the water. And when I looked down, it was this like distance, and I was so scared of it. Like the fear was paralyzing. You
Yeah.
know, it was paralyzing. And this is when I was actually struggling with anxiety.
Okay.
Interestingly,
That-
I was
that leap.
struggling. Exactly. The moment, it took me a while, guys. I was there for like 20 minutes. Like everyone was watching me. Everyone was rooting for me,
Ooh,
to
yeah.
jump. Like it was actually so funny. Everyone was watching, and I'm there like, oh my God. And my boyfriend was saying to me, you have to jump because you have to see this as you overcoming your anxiety. And that's why I was trying to like put it in my head. When I jump, I'm gonna overcome my fear, because I had a fear of everything.
Yeah.
You know, I jumped.
And that was that jump
Nice.
up, that thing you was talking about earlier.
That, you know, so that's what I mean by, you know, holding your hand, but also pushing you too.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you need to jump. You need to jump in the sea now. When I did that, it proved to myself that I can overcome fear. I just need to jump.
Wow.
You know, like
Nice.
honestly, guys, it was life changing. Because the fear you feel when you look down at the like that height.
Yeah, I could imagine. I'd be scared to jump. So I
I'll
don't know
be
about
scared to jump, especially over something big and you never know what's gonna.
you.
Yeah, because you
Go.
can't really see what's under you. You're just jumping into this river. It's like,
Maybe I need to go there and jump as well.
and you
What
can
you say,
see
Mexico?
Mexico.
Yeah.
You can see the rocks as well underneath, and they look like they're gonna kill you. Like it looks. Like
Oh,
close.
yeah, I know, I could imagine it.
Guys.
Is
I
it
could
just one
imagine
like straight down like a tunnel?
It's kind of like a well, every sea note is different, but just imagine like you're inside a rock that has just, I guess, disorient, whatever the word is, disintegrated. I think.
Eroded.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
All right.
Let's get that.
That literally.
You've mentioned your boyfriend a few times, I think. When it comes to time management, which you seem to be very good at, does that affect your like relationship time and business? How do you manage that?
So it does get difficult sometimes, but what we try to do now, we've come up with this thing where we realized that we work better when we are apart.
Okay.
So he has an office, and then sometimes I stay home, or sometimes like I go to the office, but it's kind of like separate.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's how we manage to do that, and also just time blocking things into your calendar. Because what happens is we don't have that direction and clarity, right? Like I said, we wake up and it's just, I'll just do whatever.
Yeah.
You have to plan. You have to know what you're doing that whole month, that week, and that day. So with us, we know what it is that we are doing. Now we can time block it into our day. So we do like date nights every like 2 weeks, every 2-3 weeks.
Yeah,
Before it
that's
used to be every single week.
I feel like they're more cherished as well when you actually see each other.
100%. But yeah, just time blocking is probably the most important thing for your time management.
You know how you said it used to be every week? Now it's every 2 weeks. Do you reckon it could get pushed back even further? Or is that kind of where you guys are stopping it at?
I don't know. I feel like it could get pushed back further depending on how busy we get.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when we are with each other, it's complete undivided. And I think that's what really helps us to keep that bond. Yeah. When we are together, we are together.
Yeah.
You know, no
It's
phones.
not like, no phones,
that's what I'm
not
saying, really
distracted.
intimate in the moment.
Business calls.
Exactly. Yeah. So it kind of makes it worth it, where it's like, oh, I'm really busy today, but tonight when you come home,
you
know, it's us. And we talk a lot. We communicate a lot as well. That's
good.
how we found out about, we work together. Well, we work better when we are in separate rooms. No distractions.
I think that's everything.
Yeah.
I think what we like to touch on is everything you've told us is amazing. Everything you're doing is amazing. Especially being an accountability coach, you're definitely stepping out the bracket of what everybody else is doing, and you're doing really well. Testimonials, guys, make sure you check out our testimonials. They are very serious.
Thank you, honestly.
Is there anything else you want to add?
Not much, but a massive, massive thank you
Definitely.
for
Thank
coming down. You
you.
traveled 2.5 hours, nearly 3.
Free, yeah.
It was 3 hours.
Yeah, it was 3 hours.
3 hours, 3 hours.
It was 3 hours, but yeah, amazing conversation. Thank you again
Definitely.
for coming down.
Thank you very much.
Repeat after me. I will be successful.
I will have an abundance of wealth.
I take action.